All right, looks like some of you have arrived. It's a little bit different than it was the last 3 days because you don't see anything in the description and you don't see any new products here. Do we have something to introduce today? I don't really remember.
We do. Are we ready for it, or should we wait?
Well, I think we can do that. So before we do that, let me say thank you so much for joining us again. I'm sure that a lot of you were here for the last 3 reveals, and we're so excited to do another reveal for you today, but have been so excited to see the reaction that you guys have given us for the other items that we released. Now, this one is not duck themed. That is very important to be able to do that. So let us know in the comments. Might be fun to see what you guys think it is beforehand if you want to comment right now. And then obviously when we actually start to do it. So why don't we pull these out and show you the totally different thing, although we are going in and out of focus. So just bear with us here. So without further ado, Kelly, what is this?
This is, I'm going to show you the glare over there. This is a freeze-dried version of our Just Greens blend with Nettles. Show you that part. Yep, with Nettles. This is, I'm super excited about this for several reasons. But for those of you that remember me from Seattle back in the day when I used to make this out of my little kitchen in Ballard, in the spring I would go out and harvest nettles and I would put them into our spring blend. And people would buy so much, they would buy enough to last them all year long. Because nettles are they're a small and super powerful ingredient. And they act like a natural antihistamine. And so they have been so helpful for dogs with itchy skin conditions. So very excited to have the nettles in this blend, and also to have a shelf-stable version of Green Juju. Whether people are traveling and they still want to bring their Green Juju with them, or the whole freezer thawing, putting back in the fridge, whether that's just not your thing. This makes it even more convenient to add fresh food to your dog's diet. So we're very excited about this.
And I know for me personally, I've been working in frozen for so long. One of the reasons I actually came to Green Juju was because I am obviously a believer in raw foods and inherent moisture and things out of the freezer. But I just know that there are a lot of pet parents that it's just not an option for, that it's just not, as she was saying, something that's going to work. And so I wanted to be able to affect the bowls of many animals, as many dogs and cats as possible. And this is a way for me to be able to do that. So I was really excited to be part of the process of this product, and future products in being involved in how do we help as many dogs and cats as possible. So for me personally, it's a very exciting thing for me to be able to do that and carry over those health benefits that people see from our frozen blends into these 2 wonderful products here. Now, I noticed that how many 15-ounce containers does this one large package make?
So the large package makes 3 15-ounce containers. The small package makes 1 15-ounce container, which they're actually pretty price comparable, which people have been asking for freeze-dried for years, and my fear was always that we wouldn't be able to do it. It would be too expensive, but turns out the numbers proved me wrong. And when you rehydrate it at a 1-to-1 ratio. Turns out just the perfect consistency, and you're able to get 15 ounces out of this for about the same price.
And I think it's important too to mention about this specific product, because there would be a big difference, that this is actually the product made and then the end product is freeze-dried. So that is a different process than if you order powders or something like that. So we are actually seeing the whole vegetables come in, doing the actual juicing and adding the pulp back like we do in our blends, and then actually freeze drying that end product, which is an extra step. It'd be a lot easier to do it the other way, I think, but this actually makes a much better product. And so we can ensure that your dog is getting exactly what we want them to get, which is this amazing ingredient panel here. And
another thing about this is, well, let's just read you the ingredient panel.
Yep.
So we have organic zucchini, organic celery, organic kale, organic dandelion greens, organic coconut flour, organic parsley, organic coconut oil, organic nettles, organic ginger, and organic turmeric. So the differences there are that we have the coconut flour to help make it a powder, but also, and we have the nettles, but we don't have a bone broth, which is exciting. As much as I love bone broth, this is exciting on a few levels because you can rehydrate this with your own bone broth. So whether you want to do our bison or our duck, depending on what protein you want, or if you make your own bone broth at home, different protein, or you can do water. But the fact that there isn't a bone broth in here can open this up to dogs that had sensitivities to bone broths in our other blends, which means that our goal is always to get fresh food in more dogs' bowls. And so hopefully this, between the freeze-dried aspect and limiting the protein option, hopefully this can get into even more bowls.
Absolutely. And for you hikers, campers, this is going to be a great option for still getting the blend that you love into your dog's bowl, even out in a scenario like that, which is very relevant to where this product is from, which is, in the Pacific Northwest. So Miranda literally had no idea before that happened. So it looks like you guys are really enjoying this, and it looks like somebody loves your sweatshirt. So
this sweatshirt, you're from Seattle. It's from Frankie and Joe's. I've had this forever, and I love it. I always get compliments on it, too. You should go get one. They have them.
Yeah, and so Carly is mentioning that freezer space is always a commodity, which is totally true. So for those of you stores that are struggling with freezer space, this is a great option to add more whole, healthy foods to the bowl at a that is actually shelf stable. So, Soto also said, a treat version. So that's kind of true as well, which is kind of an interesting way to look at it. I just love the feedback on this. Kristen says her pug is massively itchy, so love hearing this. So
we want to hear how it works for you. The Nettles are amazing.
Absolutely. So Carol called us the dynamic duo, so I will take it. She's the way cooler part of the duo, but we can. I just
we'll
try
show that in our video.
That's true.
Stay tuned.
Thank you, Crude Carnivore. And and hi to Liz Schmidt as well. So let me see here. So Annabelle asks, are you guys going to do Bailey's blend? We hadn't thought about that, to be honest with you. I don't think, but
yeah, we hadn't thought about that. I don't know. Maybe. Never seen
it. That's a good suggestion. One of the things
we'll see how this goes. This is kind of a departure from what we're used to doing, so we want to see how it goes. If it's really successful, then definitely a possibility.
Absolutely. So this is a good question. Ashley says, is there a small amount of nutrient loss with the freeze drying? Any sort of processing is gonna change the food somewhat in terms of doing that, but freeze drying is by far the least nutrient loss causing process. So you're not losing very much of anything when it comes to freeze drying. So this is, if you are not feeding our frozen blends, this is definitely as comparable as you can possibly get. So remember that freeze drying is a lot less damaging than something like dehydrating or something like that. So that's why we're going through something like this. So you can feel very good about that, Ashley. Hey to Jay Kennedy. And yeah, it's just great to see. So Sonia says, when I see turmeric with no pepper, how does that work? So that's actually a good question. So turmeric is not absorbable without pepper. So pepper, like actually other foods. So pepper is not the only food that does this. There's a specific compound in pepper that helps to absorb turmeric, but that doesn't mean that you don't get a human or a dog or whatever mammal wouldn't get benefit from turmeric as well. So
coconut oil also helps to activate turmeric.
Yeah, so having a healthy fat there is going to help the turmeric as well. So we do have the coconut oil in here, as well as the coconut flour. So just to make that distinction, there are things, there are actually, many things that actually help turmeric. Digest black pepper is one of the common ones, but that doesn't mean that you won't, that your dog won't be getting a lot of the benefit. Hi to Nickel Plate Mills in Erie, PA. We're excited for this to be in your store. Kristen bought a stand-up freezer in their laundry room just for the dogs' add-ins. Well, we hope we're a part of that.
Nettles are not in the normal just greens, in the fresh frozen just greens.
Yeah, so the nettles are only found in this current freeze-dried one. So that's another reason too, if you're using our just greens in the frozen variety, to rotate this in every once in a while, or put this on as a topper, even in addition to it. It just depends on what your dog likes and what works for them.
Is this showing enough at the bottom of the package? I can't see the screen anymore.
So Kristen, hang on, we'll see. I'll go down the bottom here. Oh, that's not what I want. I want to go here. Oh, there we go. So just FYI, we can't see how awkward we are when we're looking at the questions. So Kristen says, are you guys, where to go? Are you guys freeze drying it or someone else? We are. So that's a good question. That's a good distinction. Okay, so we're holding up the package. Amy says, when will your products be available in Massachusetts? I don't know if she's talking about the new products or...
The new products will be available probably the last week of October. So about 3 to 4 weeks.
But get started right now on all the currently available amazing products. Looks like Susanna's excited, and she asked when, and I think we just answered that question. So I think it's good to call it. So look for this very soon. We are very excited to offer this for you, and thank you guys so much for trusting us with the health of your dogs and cats. We really appreciate it. It's, for me, that's always an honor. So thank you guys so much for wanting to come and hang out with us and learn about this, and look for the freeze-dried Just Greens blends with Nettles coming soon. All right.